Welcome to Where There's a Wills, There's a Play, Five and Dime. Expansions, March 2024. The showcase wall behind me in March of 2024 had a bunch of expansions on it. And this Five and Dime is going to rank the 10 that I played, or the top 10 that I played, as well as my wife joining us later for the 5. So I'm going to give you my dime. She's going to give you her 5. So let's go to the list. Number 10, Tapestry, Plans and Ploys. I like this expansion because it didn't add too much. It didn't add a whole lot of complexity. It just added a bunch of stuff to the game. It gave you more civilizations to play with. It gave you some more space cards. It gave you some little landmark tokens, which were really nice on the board because it told you when landmarks were taken away. I play this game solo. So it just gave you a bunch more stuff. The other thing I really liked about this was the extra landmark miniatures that you had. Some of them were available for everyone, and some of them were available just for you because in this expansion, you were able to get a card at the beginning, and then when you qualified for that card or met that card's requirements, you got that landmark, which I thought was a really nice little addition to the game. So my number 10 for expansions was Tapestry, Plans and Ploys. Number 9. My number 9 for the month of March was a very small expansion, but it was an expansion that allowed me to play this game more, and that is the Flower Shop expansion for Tussie Mussy. The Flower Shop expansion makes Tussie Mussy a solo game. In Tussie Mussy, you are laying cards down and choosing between you and an opponent. I've only played this solo. I thought the expansion did a really good job of giving me that idea of, oh, what card do I want? What card do I want to give to the AI? So it was a really fun expansion. Like I said, it allowed me to play it solo. In this expansion, you are placing cards either face up, face down. The cards you're using from the expansion deck allows you, or not allows you, it tells you how you are playing the cards to begin with, and then you get to choose which card you get, which card the AI gets. And then you're scoring just like you would in the regular game. So I thought it was a really nice expansion and a really nice way to make Tussie Mussy a solo game. That is Tussie Mussy, Flower Shop. Number 8. My number 8 expansion is the Canvas Finishing Touches expansion. The Finishing Touches expansion for Canvas adds frames, which you are competing for if you have the most of a certain element in the game. It adds some extra cards in there and a platinum ribbon. The good thing about with the frames is the frame may go back and forth between you and your opponents. I think it'd be really interesting at a higher player count than 2 because of the fact that that frame could go back and forth. Every time you earn the frame, you get a ribbon for points at the end of the game. And then at the end of the game, whoever has that frame earns more points. So you could earn that frame multiple times. You can even, quote unquote, take it from yourself. If you were to have 2 elements and take the frame, and then in a future painting you make, you have 3 elements, you can earn more points for that because you have now have the most in a different painting. So that is the Canvas Finishing Touches. Does not add a whole lot of complexity to the game, just adds a few more scoring things. So I did really enjoy that expansion. My number 7 expansion for the month was the other expansion for Canvas, and that is Canvas Reflections. I really liked the new board that came with this because it gave you 2 rows of places to put paintings. Although it did cost you a little bit more to get a painting that was a little further down, you do get some extra palettes in order to be able to do that. I like the reflections cards, although for a game that is, I like it more a lighter game, I do feel it does add a little bit more complexity So I do like this one a little bit more because of the different things you're doing than finishing touches. But it also does make it quite a bit more complex. So depending on what you're looking for, this one definitely changes your gameplay because of the reflections cards, which can be played two different ways. And depending on which way you flip it, you might have different colors that you're going for at the bottom of your painting. So that is the canvas reflections. My number 6 expansion that I played is one that I played only solo, and that is Isle of Cats, Kittens, and Beasts. Isle of Cats is one of my top 20 for sure, maybe even top 10 solo games. And I like the Kittens and Beasts expansion. There are 3 modules in here. I only played with the kittens and the beasts. With the kittens, it adds small little kittens, an extra little mat to the bottom, and you have to be the first one in the round in order to be able to get the kittens. So it changed my gameplay a little bit. In my solo play, I have a really good strategy that I find really, really good, and that really helps me beat the sister opponent quite often, or at least makes me competitive at the higher levels, harder difficulties of it. And with Kittens and Beasts, both of these made me play a little bit differently. Kittens, not as much early in the game. Later in the game, I did play pretty much the same where I tried to get in early, but it did add a little bit. The one that really changed my gameplay and really made me think was the Beasts. The Beasts are only available in the first round. In order to get them, you have to be able to take cats or beasts in the first round, which is not something I tend to do. I tend to, in my solo gaming, collect as many cards as I can in the first round until I know which colored cats the sister is scoring the most with. After the second round, when I have an idea of their top 2 scoring, that is when I start collecting a lot of cats. With this, I can't do that. I have to be able to get some beasts, or at least one beast on my board in order to score that. So it really did make me change my strategy of how I played Isle of Cats, which was quite interesting to me because I use pretty much the same strategy and it works for me. So this was really interesting to have to change my entire strategy. Joining me now for the 5 part of our 5 and Dime is my wife, Stacey. Would you like to introduce yourself and talk about your gaming styles a little bit?
Of course. Hi, everybody. My name is Stacey. I'm the better part of Where There's a Will, There's a Play. And my gaming background is basically I play to have fun. I like older games. I'm not a sit down and play multi-universal, too many rules type of gamer. I just like to keep it simple. I get irritated if there's too many things to process and follow. So I try to be a lighter gamer. I like to play games with Ian. Sometimes he has to help me along, and I think it makes him feel like he's playing solo, even when I am playing, because he has to help me so much.
She thinks that, but it's not. I when we play together, I like to have fun, and I like to help her understand some different things because I do have a more strategic brain. And so, like, if she's not seeing something, I will help her along, and I'll help her see through things. But ultimately, she makes the final decision on everything she does. So, like she said, she comes at it at a much lighter weight. She doesn't like to have a lot of strategy. She just likes to sit down and play. So her top 5 and my top 5 will be coming up here. And she's going to give hers, like she said, from that point of view of someone who doesn't want to have to think about a whole lot of different things, but she still likes a lot of games. She has played a lot of games over the years. And so that is where her point of view is coming from.
Perfect. Thank you.
My number 5 expansion from the month is Parks Nightfall. We do have all the expansions. I really enjoy Parks. I need to get it to the table more, even as a solo game. I love the one-way track that you're doing in the multiplayer and solo game, and having to figure out where you're going to go and how quickly you're going to move so that you don't get cut out at the end of trying to do some stuff. I like the addition of the camping aspect, and also the addition of the ability to get more bonus cards at the end. I think that's a really neat idea. And the camping, being able to do some different things that maybe if you missed out on some tokens and stuff, you can get some different things going on. And also, I like the new cards that give you some instant abilities that allow you to maybe reserve an extra part or get some extra items. So I do like all of those things about Parks Nightfall. Your number 5?
My number 5 is Parks Nightfall as well. So along the lines of what Ian was saying about the camping extensions and everything, I didn't like it. It's too much for me. I already have enough trouble remembering that there's a backpack and that there's a canteen that you need to fill and that you need to fill your water to be able to do certain aspects of it. So for me, I enjoy playing it, but I'd rather play Parks. I do like the addition of the new animals. So that was a bonus for me. But out of the Parks and the Parks expansion, I would much rather just stick with the original, which sometimes can be a little overwhelming for me as well. So if there's too much to remember and too many actions to take, it's probably not for me. So Parks Nightfall.
My number 4 is Cascadia Landmarks. Cascadia, I think, is probably one of our favorite games to play. We really enjoy playing it. When I saw the Landmarks expansion was coming out, I waited a while, but then I did buy it. After I bought it and before we played it, I kind of started hearing, oh, maybe it's not so good. And then I was really worried when we got it disabled, but I was really excited about this one. I really like this because it adds some more scoring abilities. Also, it adds the fact that now the terrain means more than just, oh, I've got 8 forests, I've got 3 river. Now you can get scoring for the terrain. It does make it a tighter game because if you decide to grab a scoring card for terrain, it's taking a tile away from being able to place animals. And I think when we played, we both kind of had that situation where we're like, oh, I now don't have a place to put an animal. So it does make it a little bit tighter game. I like that. I like the fact that it does add more scoring and it makes the terrain actually mean something. I've heard some much bigger name content creators comment on that it definitely adds to that. The other thing I like is the new tiles. All the old tiles, I believe, had 2 terrains at most. This one, some of them have 3, some of them have 2, but instead of being just split in half, they might have 4 of the 6 sides are one terrain and only 2 sides are another terrain. So I do like those. I like the fact that those can just be mixed in. So those will be played always. I really like those new terrain cards. The Landmarks expansion, I will definitely play it quite a bit. I think we'll play it together a bit, but we'll probably play solo more often. But yeah, that's Cascadia Landmarks. My number 4.
And my number 4 is Canvas Reflections. Now, I do like Canvas, and for me, this one, I do like the mat that comes with it, and you get the 2 rows of cards, which does cost you more coins if you want to take something from number 2 to number 4, is it there that they have?
Yeah.
So it does cost you more coins, but then you also end up with the card that you want. The one thing that I had problems with is that I have troubles remembering to flip the card over to know what's on the other side. So you've got your colors, you've got your what are they called?
Symbols.
The symbols to do what you need to do. But my mind doesn't work to where I can picture that card flipped over with the colors on the other side of the card and reversed, or, whatever it is. So I think I got my butt waxed on this one, because I just cannot picture what the other side would look like, and I would forget to flip it over. All in all, it is a fun game. It adds a few more cards, and you can make some really pretty stuff at the end. I was actually really impressed at some of the artwork that I came up with. So Canvas Reflections for a non-gamer gamer is good, but if your mind doesn't work in that kind of way, it may be a little bit more difficult.
A lot of the same things I said. Even my brain, I kept on forgetting to flip it over, and without flipping it over, I couldn't picture it. So that's why that one was in my dime, but it was lower in mine. That was our number 4. My number 3 expansion for March of 2024 was Role Player Monsters and Minions expansion. I really like Role Player as kind of a lighter, just quicker game, rolling some dice, filling in your character, trying to make the best character, almost like Dungeons and Dragons type character. The Monsters and Minions just takes it up just a little notch. And what it does is it, at the end, when you are taking on it, when you create your character, you have to have a certain number of points in order to defeat the monster that you're taking on. During the game, as you are playing, you are also finding information about the monster so that you can help create your character so that you can have enough points. It adds just a little bit to make your character mean something. I won't always play with it. Sometimes I'll just want a really quick light game of Role Player, but this one will definitely come to the table quite often when I do get Role Player out because it does allow you to actually do something with your character, and it makes the game more than just beat your own score. You are, in the end, kind of beating your score if you win, but first you have to score enough points in order to actually defeat the monster you're taking on. So that was my number 3, Role Player, Monsters and Minions.
And my number 3 is Parks Wildlife. I really actually enjoyed this expansion, and I really enjoyed that you have the buffalo with the new cards, and the buffalo gives you extra ability to be able to trade in your tokens for any other, or I'm sorry, your what is it called? Your bonus token, your wild token.
Your tokens for a wildlife.
For a wildlife. And then your wildlife, of course, can be used as anything. So being from Montana, of course, I love the buffalo idea and how he can go across the top and give you extra park bonuses. And again, I liked the extra little animals that it gives you. That's a bonus for me. The more animals, the better. And it doesn't seem overwhelming for a gamer, non-gamer, whichever way you want. Whichever way you want to put it. It doesn't seem, like I said, it doesn't seem too overwhelming. It's easy to keep track of. I just do, don't listen to this, but I just do one card at a time. So I earn all of my tokens for one card, earn that card, get another card, earn it. So I'll have a couple laying in front of me that I've gotten, but it doesn't seem like you have to earn a bazillion tokens to earn one card. So it's easier to get cards, I think. You still have to deal with the canteen and all of that other rigmarole, but I really enjoyed it. Out of the expansions for parks, this is definitely a winner for me. So there you go. Parks expansion for wildlife.
And I played this. I mean, obviously we played this one together. This one did not make my top 10 overall, but I enjoyed this one as well. I do like the idea of the buffalo going across the top and, giving you some little extra abilities when you visit a park that the buffalo is above. My number 2 expansion that I played in March of 2024 was Tuscany Essential Edition for Viticulture. I played this game solo, although I'm hoping I can get Stacey to play it with me, at least the base game without Tuscany to start. She likes some worker placement, so I think she might like this one. I really like the extended map in this. I like the fact that for Tuscany, you actually use all 4 seasons. Every season you can do things. The one thing I don't care for, and as much as I hate house rules for games, I have kind of house ruled it because I don't want to completely keep it out, even though in the multiplayer it says you can not do this, is the area control map. I feel like the area control map is way too overpowered for the AI. The AI already starts at 25, I think, in this one. And you have to, in the area control, basically, you might as well just start the AI even higher because you cannot completely negate what the AI gets in this. So I've kind of done some stuff with some dice that I'm playing around with because I don't want to completely leave it out. And so I've done a little bit of things. The extra structures I've played a couple times. I do enjoy that. And the special workers, I did like the special workers, having those workers that do some extra little things. So overall, I really like the Tuscany. Like I said, I think it'd be great at multiplayer with the area control. At solo, the area control is the one thing that keeps this from probably being my number one overall. But Tuscany for viticulture is my number 2.
And my number 2 is Cascadia Landmarks. Now, I really, really enjoyed this game. It's just added enough to not make it overwhelming for me. I loved the new tile landscapes that added, the like what Ian was talking about earlier, where you can have the
3 habitats.
3 habitats on one tile. And then you also have the trees that you can use on your special bonuses. And I also really actually, what was the other thing? I really actually enjoyed something else about it, but I cannot remember what it is.
I think just the variety of scoring cards.
Oh yeah, the new scoring cards are fantastic. For me, it was, like I said, it was just enough added to the game without making it overwhelming for me, and I could still make my own decisions about what to do. So for me, this was my number 2. I suggest this for any non-gamer, gamer, non-gamer. So enjoy.
All right, those were our number 2s. My number 1 expansion for March of 2024, and one of my, honestly, probably my number 1 expansion for any game we own, is Everdell Mistwood. I play Everdell exclusively solo. I did a video for this comparing Mistwood to Everdell solo that I will link in the comments as well. The one thing I like about this is in Everdell, you're playing against Rugwort. He doesn't follow the rules. He doesn't play like an opponent. So it doesn't really feel like you're playing against someone. And a lot of times he scores based on what you don't accomplish, which I don't really like. Mistwood completely changes that. Mistwood adds Nightweave the Spider. She has her own deck of cards. She does moves that a actual player would do. Builds a city just like a player does with the limited number of cards in it. So for me and my solo experiencing and my overall, Everdell Mistwood, definitely my number 1 expansion because I feel like when I'm playing solo, I'm actually playing against an opponent and not just some random thing that's just doing their own thing. So me, number 1 expansion, Everdell Mistwood.
And for my number 1 was Canvas Finishing Touches. I really liked this one. It added just enough so that it wasn't over complex. I like how the cards added a wild, or you can use the space next to it on some of the cards. It's a little bit more variety of what you can do with the cards.
Something I forgot to mention, but yes, I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah. And I also like how you can earn your bonuses to earn the artwork that's in the frame. And how you can steal it from somebody else. Although we never did steal from it, just once. I think you stole from me once.
I think with 2 players, the frame isn't going to do a whole lot. I've seen that from a couple other content creators. With 2 players, it's probably not going to be a whole lot because you're working only on 3 total pictures and you're kind of working on your stuff. I think at like 3 or 4, maybe 5 people, those frames may bounce around numerous times, which would make it kind of interesting.
Yeah, so with 2 players, that didn't really come into a lot of effect. but I like it that way. I like to earn my frame and I like to keep it. I don't like people taking my stuff. So for that reason, I made this my number one expansion for the month.
So there you have it. Our number one expansions from our expansion showcase wall. Everdell Mistwood, Canvas Finishing Touches. We are where there's a wills, there's a play. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Comment below. What are some of your favorite expansions to play as a midweight casual gamer or a non-gamer gamer who just likes to play games?